Hi guys, my name is Tai Nguyen and I'll be giving you a presentation on psychology of injury. Let's do this. So what is an injury? An injury is defined as a term to the trauma to the body that includes temporary physical disability. And in some cases, that physical disability can be permanent. It is also defined as feeling of intense pain while performing a physical activity. For example, we have here a photo of someone experiencing an intense pain while performing a physical activity. Some injuries don't have to be defined as an injured leg or you popped a shoulder or a bone injury. It could be defined as different forms of injuries like muscle soreness, fatigue, and some cases torn muscles around specific areas like the solar plexus or the bicep. Oh, sorry. All right. So what causes an injury? There's two ways an injury can be caused, a physical factor and social factor. The physical factor is one where some people can overtrain themselves to the point where they result in physical fatigue, like that includes headache, dizziness, lightheadedness. For personal experience, I have experienced physical fatigue because I've constantly overworked myself on physical activity and fitness. And that includes muscle imbalance. For example, you work out too hard, your muscles get really sore to the point where it starts to cramp up or feel immense pain around that area. In some cases, it can also result to torn muscles. Say like if you're working on your solar plexus and you're working too hard, you can feel from muscle soreness to immense pain, and eventually it will be torn muscles. Another factor is social factors. It includes masculinity and enduring pain. Some people have this thought process that they need to endure the pain during the workout. It's like they don't know when to stop working out or know their limits. It results in them have their mindset like, I have to go through the pain. It's not, I can't be labeled as weak. It's, yeah, may I add a comment to this? It's okay to feel pain, but don't brush it off as it's nothing. It's some point, knowing that you're in pain and you know when to stop, it can help yourself. It can help reduce the risk of injury. Okay. Let's, since we're talking about social factors, let's talk about psychological results. An injury is tough. Injuries suck. I don't have my experience with injuries, but I know a few people that have been injured, and it causes a lot, not only physical strains, but also a lot of psychological strains. For example, for psychological results, we have stress levels, emotional responses, and poor adjustment to injury. When we get injured, we usually go to people that for moral support, or someone needs someone else to help them care when it's not yet. In some cases, people have experienced emotional responses, which means low levels of social support. No one's getting the support they need when they're injured or they push themselves. And that also leads to a lot of stressful social events. You get so stressed, you don't know what to do, you think straight, you can have a poor adjustment to injury. What I mean by a poor adjustment to injury is like, some examples use a tough act. Something like people tend to act tough. So like this injury is nothing. So, for example, someone's has a torn bicep. It's like, it's nothing. It's nothing. I can keep going. It's nothing. It's okay to not act tough. That's completely fine. I'm not tough. I'm like scrawny. um, some people would act tough because they don't want the thought process of feeling worthless. Like some people would have this thought process like, if I can't act tough, then everyone's going to think I'm worthless and everyone's going to think I'm pathetic. Like, moral of the story, it's okay to feel worthless. An injury sucks. I never experienced it, but I've seen what it can do to people. And it's okay to feel worthless or on the lowest lows if you're injured. There's going to be at least a few people that's going to be there for you. Speaking of people being there for you, there is. And it involves in the work of injury rehabilitation. We have a lot of people that are trained in sports medicine and are very development on injury treatments and in the process of recovery. There's two ways: psychological interventions and rehabilitation, which also includes physical therapy. For example, on this photo, we see a physical therapist helping this old guy rehabilitating his muscles and body to become stronger and better and be able to recover quickly and better. And for psychological interventions, not a lot of people can process the injuries. They have this process like, it sucks, it's painful, I don't know what to do, I can't think straight. That's where psychological interventions come in. It can help teach people how to cope up with the injuries and what they can do from there, which will lead to results of rehabilitation and physical therapy, where they can go, injured people can go and work with other physical therapists to help recover from injuries. Now, some people don't really understand the recovery process and what injuries can be processed. It is important to know the expectations of recovery and the timeline of recovery. Our body has the capability of healing an injury, but it's not simple when it comes to the thought process. Injuries like a broken shoulder or busted knee, it takes from weeks to months to almost a year to recover. And moral of the story, it's all about patience and good timing. You can work hard on recovery and it might take months. You can be patient and take it nice and slow. You can take a year. It's whatever is your call. So who is at risk of athletic injuries? Anyone can be. But the truth is, sports athletes are shown to be a higher risk of athletic injuries because they've shown high traits of anxiety, high life stress, and low social support on coping skills. And these athletes, I think I can somewhat see where the anxiety and stress comes in. Anxiety, such as, there's people watching me and I want to do better so I can impress them. Stress includes maybe not just from athletic situations, maybe personal situations. And speaking of personal situations, they have low social support and coping skills. Some athletes don't really have some athletes don't really have a low social support. They don't know how to cope with their personal lifestyle and how they can process that through the athletic lifestyles. So it is important to know that athletes are at risk of athletic injuries because they're always performing with other people. They have high amounts of anxiety. They want to do better and so on. So learning experience from injuries and injured athletes. So athletes get injured a lot, and they use this time to learn what they can do to recover quicker and what they can do during the process of recovery. So they've experienced sports medicines, rehabilitation programs, social resources, and steady pace for recovery. For sports medicines, it doesn't really have to include partner with a group of people or physical therapists. They can also include any forms of simple movements, like self-treatments, for example. Like you can go for a walk, you can go relax, or do a simple activity that you can do to slightly recover. Or social resources, you can go to other people to more supports, talk to them how they cope with their injuries and the thought process of what they can do. And it's a steady pace for recovery. There's no rush into recovery from an injury. It takes time, it takes patience, and it's a process that we all have to follow through. And reflecting on this whole process of injuries. Physical injuries can be very difficult for athletes as it can be very painful and affect one's psychological state. But it is important to fully understand the concept of physical injuries and the process of sports medicine and the treatment for injured athletes. Because in the near future, future athletes can use this process to better understand the situation, and they can use this process to recover quicker, recover more efficient, and have a more positive mindset on injuries. Thank you for your time. And that is it. Thank you for your time, and I hope this presentation goes well. Yeah, so again, thank you, and I hope you guys have a nice day.